Fourth year that Kentavious Caldwell-Pope did not get extended, so he will be a restricted free agent after the season. They could not agree on a new deal. Ball knocked out of bounds. Nets retain it with 16 to shoot. He's shown improvement each year, averaging 11 points per game in his career. Good size at 6'5", 205. Hollis Jefferson, that's a three. Off the iron. Harris touched it last. Out of bounds, and there's no doubt it is inside the head of Rondae Hollis Jefferson, the shooting woes.
Yeah, from a shooter's perspective, what happens is that you work all summer long and then you put the pressure on yourself to perform when the games begin. To my eye, it looks like he's just aiming just a bit.
Smith tried to guide it through. Harris wasn't looking. Lopez triggered it, and it leads to a layup for Caldwell-Pope.
And those turnovers, you just can't have them, obviously. Easy buckets. You work so hard to stop a team like the Pistons with their balance.
Nets led by as many as 10. Now it's been cut in half. Lopez, a same spot and the same result. A splash for three.
And it's not a question of whether he has the range. I think he just has to find his comfort level, because like Bogdanovich, he sets his feet fairly well out there, and he also doesn't have to lift his body off the floor, which means it's like an extended free throw.
Quick trigger, Drummond, it rims in.
Yeah, that's the one he's worked on. It's difficult to stop because he's so good at positioning his body to begin with that you have no chance, even a 7-footer, to block that.
First time Brook Lopez has made 2 3-pointers in a game. Ball movement, they turn it over. Caldwell-Pope. Smith. Hard drive. Harris hangs, and he's going to the free throw line. Takes off the mask. He'll shoot a pair.
See what Smith did before that opportunity for Harris, though, and he put the ball on the floor to get it to the middle. And what that does is it gets defensive teams leaning towards the ball. And then when you kick it out like he did to Harris, Harris now has a choice to take a quick shot or see his defender retreat to him, and it allows him to go by somebody that much easier. And I think that's one of the things that you'll start to see as the season evolves and guys at the Nets end get comfortable. That's kind of what they want to do, to be able to keep the pressure on the defender.
Scola in, Whitehead in. Randy Foye continues to sit with a hamstring issue. Graves Vasquez still struggling with a sore right ankle, so Whitehead will get his opportunities. Lynn and Lopez to the bench. Lopez with 14 points in the first 7 minutes of action.
Now Whitehead coming off a game 2 on where he played 21 minutes or so. He was 3 for 11 with 5 turnovers. Just as he did just then, bring the ball up and get into their offense. Make things happen, get yourself moving. Don't try to command the ball.
Hollis Jefferson using the screen from Scola. The hesitation, the scoop doesn't go. And a slap down against Brooklyn. Hollis Jefferson will pick it up. The only player that has missed for the Nets is right there, Rondae Hollis Jefferson. And he picks up his second foul. So Sean Kilpatrick will check in at the 4:36 mark. That's leading at 25-21.
A little smaller team right now on the floor for the Nets.
Caldwell-Pope, half-court set.
What do? They look to post up. Kilpatrick getting him at least a stride away from the bucket.
Harris has the size advantage. Can't finish. Rebounded by Kilpatrick. Harris is 6'9", and he's rangy. Kilpatrick gives up the dribble. Harris drives. Bank shot is good. Joe Harris.
And one of the things with Joe Harris, we've seen a mixture. You know, he pull up jump shots, off the dribble jump shots. Once in a while, we see him to go to the basket, and I love the way he kind of regrouped at the end of that shot to let the defender go by him.
The drive, the kick to Lohr. Soft touch. John Lohr, a stretch 4. I guess Brook Lopez is a stretch 5.
Lohr will post up a little bit too, so he's blended that a little bit into his game.
27-23 Brooklyn. Steal. Ish Smith with the takeaway. Smith shifting gears, sets it up. Caldwell-Pope sets the feet and connects for 3. It's a 1-point game.
That's a difficult shot to make too. Turnovers not working in the Nets' favor because each of them really seem to have been paying big dividends for the Pistons going the other way with them.
Offense will come with age and familiarity with the system. This is a Metaphor Wednesday.
Well, I didn't realize we started that on our broadcast.
No, it's a whole new feature.
It's like Telestrator Tuesday.
Yeah. We probably should do the metaphors on Monday because it's an alliteration.
Yeah,
Metaphor Monday.
Right.
Sarah, you've talked to Rondae Hollis-Jefferson and Kenny Atkinson. What has been the feel in that dynamic, and Rondae working so hard on his game during the offseason?
He is, and that's the point, Bird, that he worked so hard in the offseason on his shot. Now Kenny Atkinson wants him to focus on what he does best, the cutting, the slashing, and defensively. He said focus on the things that are a part of your game, who you are, and the offense will come. And I think with Rondae, it's just about keeping confidence up, being positive, and that's something that Kenny Atkinson is trying to work with him on.
And Sarah, I agree 100% with you. That phrase of kind of who you are, right? Sometimes people say play within yourself, which is, I think, a crazier way of saying it, but it's knowing what you do and what your strengths and weaknesses are, and there's nothing wrong by identifying your weaknesses and trying to stay away from them, quite candidly. Nice step in.
Scola with a steal. Cutter, Whitehead, gives it back. Scola on the flip. Nice steal from Isaiah Whitehead as the rookie gets the dive.
One of the things that the Seton Hall coaches said about Isaiah Whitehead is that he is an exceptional passer when they had him at Seton Hall. And there was a good example of him just making a basketball play and not trying to get too fancy with it.
Beno Udrih is in for Detroit. So is Aaron Baines. And a foul called on the outside. Bit of a bailout. Nets are over the limit.
So here's the key. The key is getting it back, and you're getting it about 12 feet away, so Scola doesn't have to put it on the floor. He just cuts to the basket and can lay it in. Best time for a guard or anyone to release the basketball back on a 2-on-1 is when you're about 12 to 15 feet away from the basket. That was one of the old tricks I had, Ian, by the way. You know, I dribble the ball up to about the three-point line, and then you get rid of it. Then the defenders have plenty of time to shift, and then you'll get the layup on the other side.
That was one of your two tricks?
I didn't have two, but thanks
that
for
was
the
your
compliment.
only trick. 29-28 Brooklyn after a pair of free
throws. It did work, though, believe it or not.
Hamilton gives it up. Kilpatrick going to the hoop hard.
That's where I like to see him mix it up. Continue to drive it towards the basket. You'll get those open shots. Now, he's got the quickness to go by plenty of the people who get stuck guarding him.
Catch and shoot. Caldwell Pope is off the mark. Uncontested rebound to Justin Hamilton. Nets lead by 3. Whitehead, drive and kick. That's an open look for 3. Kilpatrick drains it.
And all of a sudden you see it, Whitehead after one assist. He made one mistake and he drove to the middle. Too much traffic for a charge. Now all of a sudden he's got back-to-back nice plays from a playmaking standpoint.
Udrih, the pull-up. Beno Udrih, 13-year veteran, playing on his 8th NBA team.
You're rolling that R a little bit, are you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Nice.
I'm not much of an R roller, but it somehow works for his name. Scola fires it. Wow. Pass was deflected, but somehow ended up in the hands of Harris for the interior bucket.
Yeah, pretty movement away from the basket, too. The basketball, I should say, with Harris.
Out of bounds, and the Pistons will retain it.
And I like the substitution by Kenny Atkinson, too. It's a small thing, Ian, though. He's bringing Isaiah Whitehead out. And some people might say, well, what's he taking him out for? He just made 2 nice passes, 2 good plays. Get him out, because you know he's going to go back in, but get him out on a positive so you can talk to him and reinforce the positive and say, just relax, you're going to go back in and continue that positive mental attitude.
Stanley Johnson is in the game for Detroit. Really hurt the Nets last season. 2nd year out of Arizona. Johnson. Too strong. Lynn keeps it alive. It's rebounded by Lord. Tried to squeeze it inside to Baines. And a step in for a steal. Booker has been active.
Good work by Lynn on the defensive glass, though. There you go, dribble it.
Booker drives, kicks. Scola, ball fake on a 3. Harris with 10 to shoot. Kilpatrick doesn't take the triple. Here's Booker with a shot clock winding down. Out of bounds. Atkinson was looking for a call. And the Nets will retain it with 5 to shoot.
I can tell you one thing. No one likes to play defense the way the Pistons just had to play. A little deflection just then. But that was, even though it all occurred in the middle of the floor, good activity by the Nets.
Booker drives, off balance. It goes off the iron, and it's rebounded by Lord. 8-second difference, shot clock to game clock.
The Pistons have a foul to give coming the other way, too.
Udrih, spin move on the dribble. Pull-up jumper, in and out, rebounded by Lynn. Nets can hold for 1 here. Lynn backs it out. Atkinson holds up the one finger.
Yeah, see, I might charge at him a little bit right here to draw that foul quicker, but he's going to wait it. That's one of the things when teams wait this long, they should foul.
Lynn turns the corner, gives it up, and the lay-in goes at the buzzer. Kilpatrick on a beautiful setup by Jeremy Lin.
That's a mistake by the Pistons, but beautifully executed by Jeremy Lin, running the traffic, the timing perfectly. So he comes through, he kicks it. And this one, to my eye, the official's eye, is not going to be a question. And